What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from The Quartering, and it looks like YouTube is up to its old tricks. Now, far be it for me to begrudge any of you for, say, for example, not caring for a particular content creator. In this particular case, Jim Sterling. I'm sure many of my viewers don't necessarily love the person, but it's a matter of principle here, and this has been insane. The problem with YouTube allowing people to just completely cripple somebody's livelihood with spurious strikes is unacceptable, completely unacceptable. And if you see just what's been going on here, essentially, a game developer they didn't like some of the words that Jim Sterling used about his games. In fact, he's been going on, it's not even a recent video, it's last year's. And this after many years of my covering his games. It's bizarre. You see how very interesting. Apparently, legendary terrible game developer Gilson B. Pontus has a video of mine taken down. If you go to the video, of course, video unavailable. This video is no longer available due to a copyright claim by Gilson B. Ponce. I don't know exactly if it shows me the date. It just doesn't seem to load any information about it. But according to Jim or Stephanie, I don't know if he's Stephanie now. Jim Sterling has changed a lot over the years. But essentially, you see, so heads up. Gilson B. Ponce, or Pontes, the terrible game designer, is pretty much aiming to get my YouTube channel fraudulently removed. He is one false copyright claim away from it. Obviously, this will be challenged, but if there are any issues, be aware this is the reason. And again, I know that a lot of my viewership might not care for Jim, but this is a bigger deal than that. You don't have to watch the dude's videos if you don't like him. I may not enjoy his political takes, but he's always been on the side of the consumer and gamers when he reviews games. I still trust his reviews of video games. I just don't watch his political hot take videos. It's really simple. You could say the same thing about Angry Joe. He continues. It's not a good time for this clownishness, and I have no patience for it. This is not 2014, and I have a lot more stuff in my life to get on with. Gilson is messing with that life because his little feelings got hurt over a review. It's honestly pathetic. I always knew the channel would go down eventually, either temporarily or permanently. I'm surprised it went on all these years without a full platform takedown yet. I didn't expect it to be thanks to Gilson, though. Apparently there is a history there. But ultimately what this really shines a light on is the faulty system that YouTube has in place, where one butthurt person can literally ruin your channel. It can cost you thousands of dollars. And it's absurd. YouTube has a system where you can issue a copyright takedown notice with zero evidence of actually owning that copyright. You can issue other copyright strikes without having to prove that a video isn't fair use, which is absurd. I talked to somebody else this morning who is going through a similar thing with an educator in the UK with like 1 million subscribers who's striking down their videos, and they have like 3,000 subscribers. How are regular people supposed to fight back against this? Here's how it really goes, and I talk to people all the time who go through this. Jim will be fine. I want this video to continue to raise awareness and continue to ask YouTube to please review this system. I know you can't get involved for, particularly you're protecting yourself, but do you have to make it so easy for people to ruin a livelihood, to cause real, you say you care about, creators' mental health. How do you think this feels to have your channel targeted in this manner? I know firsthand, every time I'm on the wrong side of the correct narrative, the amount of stress and sleepless nights that you have to endure. He goes on, frankly, I'm unsure if he's in the country, but if we have the registered business address and the contact details YouTube provided, so I'm in touch with my lawyer on this. But Jim shouldn't even have to be doing this. This is, again, talking about the system itself is so broken. He says, even if the channel goes down, I'll still release Jimquisitions. In fact, I'll release them as files you can all download and upload wherever you want. I would argue, Jim, please take a look at Odysee and BitChute at the very minimum for mirroring your content. And he talks about how YouTube used to protect him, and he goes on to say they protected videos, not the channel. And I think they quietly stopped doing that whole program when this kind of thing stopped making the headlines. Minor update, a third video has now been claimed. So far, it's been included as a part of a single strike with another video. We're still, quote, on paper, one claim away from bye-bye time. So if you're inclined, please feel free to download anything from the channel. We are now at 4 videos removed and 2 copyright strikes. There's one more LGS Productions review for Gilson B. Ponce to take down. Whether it'll trigger the deadly third strike remains to be seen. The point is not that Jim will likely, survive this. It's that he shouldn't have to, or they shouldn't have to. I don't know what's going on with Jim anymore, but they shouldn't have to endure any of this. It's a broken YouTube system that is allowed to be used maliciously by anybody who wants to. I mean, at the very minimum, could you have to provide that you actually own the particular content that's being claimed? I get spurious copyright claims all the time. And guess what? It's never on recent videos. There's a time when I wasn't watching, and these like shell companies had claimed, 50 or 100 of my videos that were still getting, a couple hundred views a day, but that were years old. And I did the math, and they had siphoned hundreds of dollars off me per month. And the fact of the matter is they were probably doing this to not hundreds, not thousands, not tens of thousands, but possibly millions of videos. And YouTube does nothing to protect us. YouTube just says, well, we can't get involved. We have to be an unbiased third party. Well, while I agree that that's probably true, perhaps you could make it a little more difficult, just a skosh more difficult for people to do this. We've already had our long conversations about Warner Brothers and Warner Brothers Chapel Hill in terms of how they continuously take advantage of YouTubers who are afraid to fight back. Because what happens is you're a small YouTuber. You haven't been through this, right? You get a claim or heaven forbid, a strike, all right? And the legalese language is very intimidating. It talks about how you're submitting a legal document. Now I have to give you my address, my personal information. I have to dox myself to fight a bogus claim. This is a way that a lot of people will get your information out there. You have to submit your personal information, which is obviously putting me or the creator at risk. Then you have to wait and hope that they, and then you have to wait 30 days for it to expire, which it always does, because these people aren't going to go to court. They'll just go to another YouTuber and they'll squeeze them instead. In this particular case, it couldn't be a more obvious situation of butthurt where this dude is messing with the Jimquisition and his entire channel. It's ridiculous. And I don't know how many times, we've been talking about this for, 5 years now, that the system's been screwed up and they've made zero improvements to it. I don't know what else to tell you as a content creator, but this is crap. YouTube, you need to fix this system, please. Just talk to us. If you would just talk to the creators and open a dialogue about why your system is so hands-off and so easily abused, I bet you could put just a few things in place that would make this a lot more difficult. In particular, in Jim's particular case, there's absolutely no doubt in mind that this is, vicious, motivated for retaliatory reasons. And, the thing is, people will say, oh, just sue him, just sue him, just sue him. Here's the reality of lawsuits. The only people that generally get money are the lawyers. Jim could spend $50,000 chasing this guy down, win the case, but he doesn't have any money to collect. So now he spent 50 grand in court to get a moral victory, and he's wasted, 2 years of his life and has to, during discovery, you have to disclose all sorts of personal information. It feels violative. It's bull. YouTube needs to really please overhaul this system. Jim, you have my support. I'm sure that you won't accept it publicly, and that's fine. It's the principle of the matter. I hope you enjoyed this video. Hopefully YouTube resolves this quickly, and we'll talk to you again real soon.